How's it going? This is John with Graybeard 3D. I'm coming to you to build this RailCore up. I got to figure out where I left off, figure out what the next steps are, and get this thing moving. It looks like my computer's really heating up too. I hope it doesn't crash, but we'll do what we can. So stay tuned as I start to unpack all this stuff in this RailCore. Let me switch the screen around for you. Not that one. And there's a lot of options here. We'll go with this one. All right. So I kind of just stuck everything down in here. Big box of motors. Okay. Some Teflon tube. All right, so we have it cleaned out. Might need a, there's one more piece in here. Might need a burst of air or something to get some dust out. It's been sitting on the counter for a while. So let's see what we're at. It looks like one of these is a good one. So it looks like our step is to, I don't know why this camera looks so bad today. Does that look bad for you guys? Should be good. So yeah, so I think we're at the point where we're going to start running some of these belts and get them. I think this is one continuous belt. I don't think there's a break in it. So I might have to end up cutting it. So let's look at these instructions. So I need the belt. I need 4 retainer clips. I believe these are the retainer clips. Let me see where my video is. So we need 4 of these. That is looking really bad. Let me see what I can do about that. Let's see, settings. I'm going to switch the camera there and switch back. Maybe that'll get it to fire up. Does it look a little better? Maybe. So those are the retaining clips. We have 4 of those. All right, we need the M3 45s. Cap heads. And we need the M3 16s. So These M316s, these M345s. M3 washers, those should be easy to spot. And M3 nylon lock nuts. And those should be pretty easy to spot too. Here we go. All right. And this is the kit from Project R3D. I believe the RailCore has shifted production over to Extruder. So if you need a kit, you'd have to go to them. Well, that's interesting. I just noticed. Okay, it's not in yet. Okay. I was just noticing that the tower there is blocking one of the screw heads to the motor, but it's because the whole tower is not screwed in yet. So good things. All right, front lower bolt belt. Clip it into one of the belt retainer clips. Let me see if I can get this on screen for y'all. So it looks like if I hold it like this, you can see in there there's some teeth that are going to align with the belt. And leave about an inch past the end. So that's about an inch, maybe. And then want it to loop back like that. Okay, we take one of these M45s. I wonder which way this M45 is going. All right. So it looks like they want this. Let's put the camera for y'all. That didn't feel good. Is that on screen for you? All right, cool. It looks like I'm on screen. All right, so it's saying to go ahead and face the teeth of the belt pointing to the left side of the printer body. And I should be able to tighten the clip down until it's flush with the front of the Y carriage. So lower hole, maybe. Maybe. And put in our long screw here. Let's find our 2.5 millimeter driver. Sweet. All right. It's not enough to catch yet. I'm trying to catch in there. I do have something to catch, right? For shits and giggles, let's see. Getting any of these in? No, it doesn't seem to want to go. there's something blocking it. I don't see anything blocking. I'm going to put more force on it. Still doesn't seem to want to catch. All right, let's double check this instruction here. Toward the left, that's right. Those are right. This just doesn't want to go in. So I think what's happening is this is feeding through, and on the other side, there's one of these inserts. What's interesting is these inserts probably should have been inserted backwards because we're going into the other end, which it doesn't have this nice taper. So because of the way these inserts work, they're working backwards, and they should have probably been put together backwards. Not that that's completely necessary, but it would help. I'm going to try to feed this through and just make sure there's nothing on the other end. Make sure there's no maybe excess plastic. I should be able to push through. It was pretty tight. Let's see. So that is pretty tight. I can see through. I do see a lot of plastic in the way, though. That's not good. All right. Let's see what we can do here. Oh yeah, that does not look good in there. Looks very jammed up. So I'm going to come right back. Hey, good morning, Michael. I'm going to come right back. I got to go get a drill bit. I'm going to drill that out a little bit. So I'm going to find a 3mm, maybe slightly larger than a 3mm drill bit. Because it's mounted, it's going to be a tight squeeze. I'm just going to see what I can do to clear out some of that material in there. If you do one of these RailCore kits, you absolutely should check out putting those brass inserts backwards and maybe even clear the holes before you mount it. Let me take a note of that. I started some notes for the assembly back when I started building it the first time. What is this? This is the Y carriage. Let's call it carriage. Hey, John, how's it going? Yeah, I'm glad you guys came out to watch me struggle with this one. I struggled with 2 different printers yesterday. Hopefully today is the day I get a printer going. So far, not so good. Step number 1, and I'm already stuck. So let me, oh, not even really fully on camera here. Let's see. Wow. I wonder why that camera just looks so bad. Let's see. That one. Maybe that works. So yeah, so I'm already on step 1 here, and I ran into a little issue, and I'm taking a note for what to do. What are those things called? Brass inserts. And cool. Got my note. Let me go find a drill bit. Printing a fidget spinner. Oh, you're working on the bear. Oh, that's cool. So yeah, I used to print a lot of fidget spinners. Fidget spinners kind of kicked off my Etsy store, and I don't know. I don't really do much on Etsy now, but there was a time where they were easy money. Let me go and find a drill bit, and I'll be right back, guys. Entertain each other, I guess. All right, I'm back. Oh, what did I miss? So I have my trusty little drill here. It's a tiny drill because I needed the space. And yeah, fidget spinners did pay for a printer. I think that's how I afforded my first Prusa. And I'm happy for that. Oh, I think I hit metal. Let's do this one. Okay. This one, if I can find the hole. Where's that hole? on the hole. I think the only one I didn't really get a noise with might have been this one. There we go. Okay. We have drilled it. Let's see how the screws fit. Come on. I think it might be going. Yay. It's pushing a lot of plastic out the other end. But that is a screw that has gone in. Cool. I'm going to check all the holes. Might have to shove something through to clear out some of this plastic. It feels like it might be going in. It's getting tighter. Yeah, having plastic in those threads is definitely not helping. Maybe I'll go the opposite way. Push the plastic out through the bigger area. Oh, there we go. Sorry if that noise is coming through. So all I'm trying to do is use the screw to push out some of this plastic. Yeah, I developed several fidget spinners that had LEDs in them. And to do that, I just bought these nice little LED packages that were kind of like fully assembled, pre-wired. Worked out really nice. Hey, this one went easy. Very nice. Much better than the others. I still think I have to clear one more. This is a build, Michael. This is a build I started, I think, in June, and I never got back to it because I got very busy over the summer. I'm behind on a lot of stuff. Okay, there is plastic jamming up that whole thing. I need something to clear that plastic out. I used a very small ball head Allen, and believe it or not, it fits through the threads. This would have been faster. Okay. If you're curious, that's a size 1.3 millimeter. Yeah, the fidget spinners became so saturated everywhere. There absolutely was no way to win that over. Once you could buy them at any gas station, it was definitely over. Okay, so back to step one. And it's not really step one, but it's the step I'm on today. We put in the belt. We make sure the belt is facing this way. We have cleared our holes, and hopefully our screw goes in. Yeah, I would have much rather cleared these holes before I had this whole thing mounted. I need to make sure I don't have plastic sitting in my rails. Yeah, there's still plastic in there. That's not going to do it. Okay. So these bears, are you building them from scratch, or are you tearing down process for it? How far in do they want this? I think they said all the way. Oh, you use the Thingiverse customizer? So I downloaded some fidget spinners from Thingiverse, and for me, the tolerances were off. I had to basically recreate most of them. Okay, so tighten it down until it's flush with the front of the Y carriage. So that's interesting. I did tighten it down too much. Try to back it off. I don't know if I'm going to be able to back it back out. But once there's tension on it, it should slip out. Let's see. Almost. There. Thread the belt through. Do they mean thread it through? So it comes around. Let's see if I can turn this camera. It comes around here and through that one. I'm not sure what it's going to do here, though. Wow. So it is like this. Let me see if you're on screen here. All right, so it's there. Then it comes up and around this pulley here. Then it's going exactly where the camera is. So I got to move this camera. So it's coming around. It's going here. And basically, you just keep it on this whole lower path. Now, it doesn't help that I have 5 feet of belt sitting here. Right there, and it's going right back into here. So it's following this path around all the lower idlers that we have, and then right back to the carriage. All right. So let me put this down. I do apologize for all the shake. And let's see what we can do. That's going to fall, isn't it? This cam isn't so fly. Okay. I print TPU for my plastic printer, it will be called a gummy bear. Scratch builds. Yeah, so that's why I've not done a bear to mine. I don't want to take apart a printer that to me works perfectly fine. I know some people love it. Some people just love to mod the heck out of them. I think that the only chance you really have is to make something worse. So starting from scratch is fine though. Hold on. All right. So what they're basically saying is just go ahead and tighten up the belt and feed it into the hole back here. So I'm going to have to move the fly cam again. But we want to get some pretty good tension on this belt. So I apologize for all the movements. Let's go ahead and get this back here. Maybe this way. All right. Are we on screen? All right. That you even get some behind the scenes. So I have another belt clamp. It's going into this lower hole here. What I want to do is tighten this down some. So I'll keep my carriage right in the middle here. And just make sure everything's nice and tight. And this is where it kind of is like a judgment call. So my hole is on that side. Apologize if my hand is in the way here. So I'm just going to shove this in and see how the tightness gets. So with the end and it's flush, I guess the belt could be a little bit tighter. What do you guys think? Should it be tighter? Yeah, I know it's pixelated. I don't know why though. All right, let me see if I can do something about it. I got to kill it from the stream first. And kill that browser window. I wonder what happens if I launch a new browser. So yesterday the fly cam was like perfect, and my main cam here was pixelated. All right, damn it. Am I misspelling this? Yes, I am. That's why I'm like, nothing wants to work today. I think Okay, so that looks like that. That's all set. I guess that's fine. So let's enter. And mute that guy. Let's try to add him back to stream. Hello? Okay, making sure I'm not getting an echo. Are you guys hearing an echo? Sorry, guys. Stream problems. You hear me now, right? So what I was saying is I moved the tensioner one tooth over, and I clipped the belt there, and I tightened it down so it's flush. So I think I have pretty tight. I can go tighter, obviously. And where is my other StreamYard? Okay. Sexy voice. Thanks, John Mack. Nothing like a disturbing Sunday morning. Okay. Back to some instructions. Let's look here. Yes, yes, yes. We know this. That's the lower one. That looks okay. Rear upper belt. Okay. And the teeth of this belt should be against the idler. It will bend at a 90. So I guess the teeth are going the same way. Where are my clippers? Okay. So the teeth are going the same way here. I don't know if that's on screen. Let me see where I'm at here. Yeah, so they're coming around this. So the teeth want to be against this, and it's going this way. So that means when I'm putting in this block, and yes, the hole is lining up the right way, I'm leaving just a little bit of excess hanging out there. And I'm putting in the M345. Just like the previous step. So the teeth are going the same direction as the previous one started. Yay. I am so glad I drilled that out with the 3mm. You could drill it out with a 3.2, but I like that the 3 is giving it a little bit of tension in the plastic. So we're wrapping around that. Coming around this. And I'm going to have to move the fly cam one more time here. Seems to be nowhere good for it. All right, let's see. This should be pretty good for it. There's nothing here. If I can get it to stand. Good? Are we good? Maybe? A little bit crooked. We'll figure it out. All right. So if there's teeth on the idler or teeth on the pulley, you want your teeth of the belt facing it. If it's smooth, you want the smooth side of the belt line. It really is quite intuitive here. And I say that, and then I'm going to mess it up. So we're doing the same process as before. And we want to get it tight again. So let's see. Get the slack belt back here. So right now it feels like it's too tight. I cannot get this block in there, so I'm going to move the block to full length. And drop that on there. And this might be too loose. Yeah, quite loose. So I'm going to move it one more time. And maybe go back a few notches on this belt. Ooh, that is, oh, doesn't help that I slipped off an idler. Yep, slipped off an idler, and that's why I am now loose. Remember to always check your idlers. Come on, you saw that foreshadowing of Real Genius, right? Always make sure your optics are clean. Okay, that's feeling pretty tight. It actually wants to pull itself out a little bit. So it should be good there. Okay. Now, I've not done a RailCore before, and this is a lot more belt length than most of my printers I've ever had. So while the sound might be good to me, this much belt might want even more attention than I'm used to. So I'll find out. What do you guys think? Sounds like I'm playing a guitar here. You hear that? This one's not as tight. Okay. Oh, yeah. I have a thing about clone parts. I've seen a lot of clone V6s, and usually there are some huge problems with those just by looking at the design. Their heat breaks are usually not lined up right, or they're not cut right, and you can't make it fit. I would want to say, like, if they can't get that part right, how smooth are those gaps between where the nozzle and the heat break touch? How smooth is that going to be? Because that's going to be super important. Where are we? Okay, we did this. We did that. Now we need to align the belts. This is very critical. Okay, that sounds scary. Adjust the height of your stepper pulleys so the belt paths are parallel to the frame. You want to loosen the pulley grub, move them up or down until the belts are parallel. I used a bubble level to make sure the frame was level and then to level the belts match. Now here's the problem. What if my table isn't level? What if the state I live in isn't level? But they say it's very important. I guess this is not something to eyeball. What do you guys think? This whole extruder's loose. Did I do that? Did they say to tighten this down? Or is it supposed to be loose? Why? Okay, that's not good. Okay. Let's find a different tool. You know what it might be? I might have tensioned this belt so much that these screws aren't holding. I don't like that, guys. How can I trust anything if it's that bad? All right. I'm going to loosen this belt. I might have been a little bit too aggressive. So I'm going to move it one tooth over. Use my fingernail to mark the tooth I'm on. And slide it over so I'm one tooth over. Which is looser. Make sure my pulleys are aligned here. All right. All right. Okay, it feels looser, but this motor is not quite tightened down how I would like it. Let's see if I can show you. Yeah. Fly cam does not like that twist. All right, so this whole plate here, is this on screen? Not quite on screen. Let's back up some more. So this whole plate here is kind of moving on me. I don't like that. Come on, Cam. Let's do this. I'm using one of those flexi tripods. Okay. Now it seems like all of this could adjust, but I don't know why. It seems like these screws are tight. I still have a play. I guess it means the screws aren't tight, but boy. Let me find a more traditional Allen key. I know I had one around here somewhere. Watch next step be to loosen these to make adjustments. Wouldn't that be great? All right, I'm getting somewhere. Ooh, that's the problem with cheap Allen keys. Okay, I'm happier with that. Let me check my other mount points. Everything else seems pretty good. I'm going to give the other motor a little extra turn here too. See, I don't get that. The other motor, these screws are pretty loose, but it does not have the same wiggle problem. Okay. But that's pretty rock solid now. Hey, Chris, how's it going? Uh, hey, however you have to fix that printer, Michael, go for it. All right, where was I? Instructions, please. Yes, so the next step is to adjust all those. I had a feeling. So I need to go find a level. And I guess I'm going to level, I'm going to level it to the frame, but not to gravity, I guess. We'll see. I mean, they look pretty level. Oh, I'll be back. Here I am to save the day. Okay, I'm back. Y'all can relax now. Flycam will not participate. All right, so what I'm thinking is I'm going to take this level here, look at that bubble position. Because I have to assume it's the table or the state or whatever. But look at the bubble position here. Do it a few times. Make sure I'm not on anything. Might have been on that tape. So it's hanging off to the left a little bit. And I guess I'm going to try to get my belt about the same. See, that's a problem. So I wonder how they did it. Does anybody have any suggestions on how they would do this leveling? To me, it implies that I need to lower this a little bit with what I'm seeing on the bubble. Let's see. That's a bit of a problem too. So this stack, that is off. Chaos. What suggestions do you guys have for that? 1.73. You'll never work with that. Chris, it's the steps of the instructions say to level the belts with a level. And so it turns out it's quite impractical unless I'm doing something wrong, because the belts, while they're tight, they still, with the weight of the level, and it's a pretty light level, they'll still flex under the weight of the level. So trying to get this thing to say it's level is very, very hard. What I did with the back belt, though, is I just made sure that the belt is in line with the pulley going back to the carriage. So hopefully that's going to work. So let's see if I can. I was just trying to make sure that this is in line with that, and it looks like maybe I could go a little higher. Maybe. Let's see. It seems to want to walk up. Or is this just the shaft flexing? I don't know. Go a little bit higher. I want to try to aim for the middle, I think. What do you think? I'm on the right track. And move to the other corner, match the gap. Belts sound real tight. Obviously, that real short distance is tight, but this is the long distance. This has the most slack in it. Move the carriage to the corner, measure the belt to the frame, then move the carriage to the other corner and match the gap. All right, so I'll do some measurements too. All right, off the frame. Belt is at 21.5. Belt is at 20 there. Let's move it into the corner as you suggested here. Yeah, see, it's too high up here. So now it's lifting itself, though. Do I force it? Am I using the pulley to force it into position here? It's better. Up here. That's going to be a little bit more tricky. Yeah, it's pretty good. Let's try to measure the X now. About 12. Yeah, that's looking good. I'm going to live with it, guys. If I get crooked benches, I'll know. I'm just kidding, of course. Okay. Yeah, it's very hard to do that way, Chris. I don't know why they suggested that. The belt flexes too much in that direction. So it looks like both pulleys are higher than the middle, which I guess is true. Maybe I misread their instructions. Let's see. He specifically said I used a bubble level to be sure my frame was level, then leveled the belts to match. So, and like I said, leveling my frame on this table is not going to be great because this table is not level. I need a true level. Anybody have a true level? Position your belts. Flush against the outside rail. Okay. What I need to do now is make sure these belts are bending at a 90-degree angle. This step basically says for the idler carriers, the belt should be at a 90-degree angle when the carrier is flush against the outside rail. Let's see. Yes. He used Loctite. Wow. Okay. So these things that I tightened all up nice and neat. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, they are loose. I'm just looking at where. Okay, that's very interesting. I don't see how they're going to say that's 90 degrees. Let's look again. All right, so leaving the carriage, let me rotate this camera for y'all. Oh, come on, camera. All right. Leaving the carriage, is that moving? This should be 90. I assume that one should be 90. And then the opposite side, those should be 90. And it looks like you adjust those 90s by moving the idlers and whatnot. So, do I have a square? Let me go get a square. All right, I'm back. Okay, so found my square. What do we have here? I'll have to retune it. Yeah, probably. Things will loosen up. So I got this cute little baby square. Baby shark. Doo, doo, doo. Okay, you're welcome, guys. So they want that at a 90. Is that what they're saying? That's pretty off. They want this one at a 90. That one's better. So it's the top one that's off. Do it this way. Now, Chris, you built your RailCore, right? You have one? Yeah, so he said he used Loctite on these. I have a feeling Loctite is required. I can tell just by tightening these that they are going to loosen themselves up. Yeah. Nice. Did you use Loctite on those? On the idler carriages? Yeah, so that is off. Yeah. Yep. I had a feeling. I might, what I might do is come back, remove one screw at a time, Loctite it, put it back in. That way I don't have to readjust. Oh, I hate cheap tools. Yep. This is a crap tool. But I'm in. Okay. The other side. Let's see what we can do here. Let's start with this back one. So, yeah, I think it needs to slide out a little bit. All right, let's see how we're doing here. I think it still needs to come out. Man down. All right, let's see if I got it. That looks like it. And I think I have one more to do. Are we on screen here? Cool. Oh, that's not smart. I wrapped it where I need to take my measurement. So put it on the head. Call the print head camera. All right. That's not going to work. That one looks pretty darn good. So I'm just going to tighten these down. Make sure we're set. There are a lot of adjustment points on this printer. all of these are affecting belt tension as I go. I'm glad I have a little bit of slack on these belts. Just in case I need to ultimately back it off a little bit. Where are my clippers? I need to clip this belt. So I still have this slack here. Right there. I gotta just clip that off. I'll leave a little bit. All right. All right. Let's see where we're at. All right, snug up the M3 bolts. Boom, boom, boom. Reinforced motor mounts. I don't need to do that because I have the metal brackets. Hot end stops, linear rail adjustments. All right, I don't need to do anything with that. Attach the second M-stop switch. What are we doing with the first one? Are my towers supposed to be tightened at this point? Let me scroll through these instructions here and make sure I, sometimes I skip around. That's all good. That's all good. Yeah. So are these towers supposed to be tightened right now? Because they're kind of loose. I would assume not, because it's too early in this frame to kind of get exact positioning as far as I can tell. Yeah, I don't see any kind of information on measurements. So, yep, we did all that. End stops. Yay. Let me find my end stop wiring. I don't know what that is. Power. Oh, I found an end stop. Power, power, power. More power. A fan with an end stop. I'm not sure what that is. Probably just power. These are stepper motor harnesses. And I feel like I'm down an end stop here. All right, X end stop mount. Well, that's not labeled. What's this one called? This is the X end stop. The E3D V6 hot end retainer. We'll say that. Boom, boom, boom. What do we have? Yeah, after the bed goes in. Use Loctite everywhere. Ugh. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Connect one of these to the white end stop carrier you installed earlier. I'm going to assume that's for this, but we'll see. Yeah, okay. I'll move that around. I'll get this kind of lined up. And I need to find some really small screws here, M2 bolts. Let's see what we can do here. What size Allen key do I need for these? Maybe this real tiny one. Maybe. Hopefully. Okay. So I have the fan and the end stop are like sharing a connector here. And let me swing this camera around. Come on, fly cam. Fly. All right. Let's see what we can do here. All right, so I believe that this end stop is going right on the edge here. Which direction and how to route the wire, it's not very clear right now. I assume this fan is going to be sitting here, so I might just wire it, I might just bend it around that way and get it in there. Boom, boom, boom. Do I have M2 nuts? Are there better instructions than that? Let's see what I can find instruction-wise, guys. So that looks identical to this one. Oh, yeah, because I'm looking at, so there's a fill extruder instructions, which I say are newer instructions, and then there are the original RailCore instructions. But then on the build and troubleshooting, and you would think on the build and troubleshooting, they would link to the instructions on how to build it, but they don't. They only have a few little parts here, right? So kit wiring guide. Yeah, so that's not for the hot end. Yeah, so all of this, and they don't even link to the build instructions. It's really annoying. Wiring diagram, aligning the X carriages, lubrication, mounting linear rails, tapping. So these are like just miscellaneous instructions that aren't part of the other instructions. Definitely a challenge. All right, so E3 V6 hot end, I don't have that one. I have the other one. Watch the video. This needs to be precise, so the hot end and the BMG. Boom, boom, boom. Cooling fan, button head screws. Yay, this is coming across as fun. This is where everything starts to differ between the kit and kind of like the self-source stuff. So the kit instructions start to really lack here. And I do need some small little M2 nuts, wherever those may be. Here they go. for those, I will need pliers. All right. Where is the YouTube? Fan goes on the back. Oh, thanks. Sweet. That's an important detail that they're not covering here. So fan goes on the back. How am I doing these wires? Am I just coming through like this? Can the switch go on the back of this mount? It just has to strike, right? Tiny little nuts. That's what my wife says anyway. All right. Just do it up there. I don't really care. Once I have this built, I can come back through and figure out, how can I optimize a few things here? That is actually too small. This one's too big.
Where's the monitor?
All right. So I need a different Allen tool. I don't know if I have it. Oh, wait, here's one. I do have it. Okay, cool. This is using a 1.5 millimeter Allen tool. The wires route to the BL touch side. Really? So, is that underneath? Or does it go this way? See, that gets very tight. There's not a lot of slack there. If I go underneath, I get a little bit more slack. Well, we'll see. Sweet. All right. We have an end stop. Ooh, don't move that. Moves the camera. Okay. We have one end stop down. Let's move on to the next one. Attach the second end stop switch to the X end stop mount using the M2 12 bolts and nuts again to the top of the top rear extrusion. Okay, let me see if they gave me a plastic part for this. What is that? This might be a... All right. And that looks like it's near the idler, the rear idler carrier. And we need M3 8-button head bolts. So finding M3 8s. These are M310. Come on. These things can go somewhere. These are all the same. There they are. They were in the last place I looked. Boom, boom, boom. So it looks like that. All right. How are you guys doing out there in YouTube land? So, Fun in the Country's on tonight. You might try to check that out. I'm really bad at catching live streams. Usually watch them after. Let's see. Yeah, you guys deserve to watch me struggle through this. So let me see if I can fix this view here. Not that one. That's not so great. Let me do this. All right. So I have a little carrier here, and it looks like it holds on to the end stop for me. And so I'm just putting the end stop on it now. It doesn't really say which side of the end stop needs to be up or down because it is a little bit not level or not even. So let me see. So holding this little end stop on here, holding the screw, and also trying to get this tiny little nut on is very challenging. Yeah, if you hear a whole bunch of rustling in the background, that's my wife making an attempt to be as quiet as she possibly can. That is her best effort.
Tell them I drop things often.
She drops everything often. Yeah. Pardon me. Okay. One of these tiny little nuts on. Let's try and get this other one on. All right. So I have this mounted now to the end here, and I'm going to switch back to the other cam. Remove. And which screen was I on? That screen there? Okay. All right, so this looks like this mounts right here. Let's try to get this camera set for you. Are we on the screen? Yeah. So it looks like it mounts right here, and then it's going to be struck on this thing. Oops. That's right. Let's not move the belt with the camera sitting there. So I'm going to take two of the nuts over here, slide them into place, and take one of the M3/8s and try to get it started. And I'm using the 2.0, I believe. Yeah, the 2.0 for these screws. Yes, this is absolutely her being her quietest right now.
Almost done. Can you hear it?
She wants to know if you guys can actually hear her or if I'm just giving her a hard time.
Choose your answer wisely.
Okay. That's mounted. It's not moving. Good stuff. Butt it up to the motor bracket. It's not a motor there. It's the idler. But I think I am butted up. All right. Let's try to swing this thing and see it hit. See some end stop action. I didn't hear it. Nope. So my alignment on this looks like it's interfering. It might be hitting. Oh, I should hear a click. So, this is why we test our end stops. So yeah, so I'm not making contact there. I might be able to move the, this is the right size now. I might have a little bit of wiggle room to move the end stop a little bit more forward. No. Because it's almost there, guys. Okay. So with this, I would recommend having the switch near the top. It's going to be better because this arm does flex a little bit. Having it near the top will have it probably make that contact that we want. So what I might do is remove it, flip it over, put it back on, and double check the instructions to see if they told me to do it and I missed it, or if they should have just told me to do it. All right, let's get rid of those two screws. So we're going to flip this over so the button is near the top. Is this the wrong one? Uh-oh. somehow I stripped an M2 bolt. So one of these isn't turning. I'm going to grab another M2 bolt if I have one. Bolt or screw? Does a screw become a bolt? They said they definitely couldn't hear you or the microwave at all.
Being facetious?
No, that's what they said. Are they being facetious? I'm just a messenger. All right. Fun stuff. It's probably my tool. All right, so mounting this up, let me see it. You can kind of see it. All right, so I'm doing a few little tricks here. I'm pushing this arm a little bit more forward, and I'm going to push the switch as far as I can get it in the holder. The next best option is to adjust this, which I probably still need to, but oops, can't do that with the fly cam. Come on, think. Yes, I have switch contact. I don't know if you guys can hear that. It's pretty far from the microphone. If I am, let's do this. Since I'm standing over here more, maybe turning the microphone will help. Okay, so we have the switch. Let's check the other switch, see if we have contact there. I hear it. Wow. That can't be good. Watch these belts. You see how they pop out and then go back in? Is that because the idlers are cheap? They should not be popping outward. Let's try that again. You see that? That kind of like back and forth movement. I don't see anything on the teeth of the others. But. Okay. What's next, guys? My switch is wired differently than the one in the pick. Is it? I think it's wired on the outside pins. And where's my pick? The inside pin. So in the instructions, what it says is if I bought the kit, I am wired differently. So there's a wiring there. We wire end stops normally closed. They should be pre-soldered as pictured below. So they're wired normally closed with the NC there. The pin in the middle is normally open. So they wire it differently than their build instructions if you're self-sourcing. I don't know why. You would think that would make the firmware a little bit different between the two, and then that makes confusion. Who knows? Inside the bottom of the rear extrusion to hide it is in this photo. All right, I'll worry about hiding my wire in a bit. Okay. This is going to be fun parts. Do you know if they have instructions on building the Bondtech Mosquito combo? It does say there's a YouTube link I gotta watch. Mute this. Yep. Oh, they get rid of that thing? Huh. Very interesting. Let's bring this fly cam down. I'm going to play around down here for a minute. We got to see what's going on with all this. All right. So let's go back to our stream. Okay, so we have a Bondtech. We have a Mosquito. Hey, how you doing, Sean? And it doesn't look like there's anything else in this Bondtech box. So it did come with a cool sticker, though. They don't mount to each other. What do you mean they don't mount? Are you saying it's incompatible, or are you saying that it goes together differently? So this Bondtech is all. Look at that. That looks really cool. Is this 3D printed? Is it what's it called? SLS or whatever it is. There's a gap. Got to have the sticker. Yeah, stickers are nice. Powered by Bondtech. Powered by Alien 3D. All right, so I have the Mosquito hot end. I've heard mixed reviews. Some people are unhappy. Some people are happy. Chris, do you have a Mosquito? a bag of zip ties and screws. It's called the mounting kit. Tools. What else do I have? The thermistor, the heater cartridge, a vanadium nozzle. Let's see, does that show up at all on the camera? Woohoo! SE4. The 4 I assume is for 0.4 millimeters on the opening. All right. So Chris is saying that they don't quite wire up to each other. What is this? So there's a lot of grease on here, which is fine. I'm looking for any stray metal. Let me see, do I have a brass brush nearby? I do not. So that's the inside. Focus, 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 focus. Let me turn off 3D Maker New here too. Pause, back to my instructions. The Bowden coupler and the BMG. This needs to be precise. Okay, so they gave me one of these and another one of these. I'm kind of curious where one goes, where the other goes. Boom, boom, boom. It does look like there's a gap. Is that gap going to interfere with, what is it? Where's my screw kit? I wonder if that gap is going to interfere at all with flexible filaments. So, what size hole are these? Are these already the same? Come on, get on straight. Yeah. And just kind of seeing how this all might fit together. So it looks like the Bondtech mounts perfectly there. Check Twitter. Oh, nice. Thank you for the picture. No, it should be a 0.6 or 0.4 millimeter nozzle. Let me go see Twitter. I'm going to open it on stream here. It's one of these tabs up here. Right here. Chris. Oh, hey, you have a tube there. Did you print that? That looks like a tube I should have pre-printed. I don't have a tube. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Let's see what size screws I need in here. All right, so that one leaves about that much thread sticking through, which actually might be just enough for that. So I think I'll try that. Oh, that's not good. That is wrong size. That is wrong size. Oh, where's the tool? All right. Let's find the other shorty. And let's get this in there. All right. Firmly attached. I don't think we really need to worry about putting in the heater cartridges right now. Not sure if we need to worry about putting the fan on right now. My concern right now is just simply getting this to mount up into the printer and aligned with the Bondtech. The Bowden was forced out of the hot end. All right, I might have to. Do you have a file for that, or did somebody post a file for that, or should I just make one? I mean, it's easy enough. It's 4 millimeter inner diameter, and you probably did a 2 millimeter wall, or a 4.1 millimeter inner diameter. So there's a little room to work with. So Chris, did you leave this all empty? I mean, you might have a tube there, or did you put this piece in here? Because I have this piece on here. Is it supposed to like double stack almost? I'll give time for the lag to catch up. Move these out of the way. Move the little tiny fan out of the way. Isn't it cute? I use the piece. It's an Ender 3 solid bed mount that I increased the Z to 27. It's 27 millimeter gap. So I don't know if I like that. Not sure I like that. With this in there, it should have a tube coming through it. Huh. Let me get my handy dandy tube. It's not cut straight for me. Isn't that nice? I didn't cut it. I cut it at an angle for me. Fitting faces out. Other way. Oh, is that? Well, okay. I could live with that. So that way when I shove the tube in, it'll supposedly lock in place. Now, I can't do that with this clamp on here. Pop the clamp off. Now, I have to cut that square. That sucks. Why would you give somebody that? Let me go get my cutter. Okay, I'm back. It took me a while to find it. This is the Capricorn cutter I got in my Alien 3D UFO box. So there are good things that come out of that box all the time. But yeah, that's a bad cut. This should line it up better. It's a little bit better. All right. So you want a square cut? I don't think that's going to focus. Sorry. Now the other thing I don't like, you see that wiggle in there? That wiggle is no good. I wonder what the clamping force will be. So let's see. Yeah, I guess it clamps. So drop that down. Maybe that'll do it. Fitting faces out. All right, I'll check the fan as well. Might have made it too tight. Getting this thing to clamp down is pretty tight. Yeah, I might have overdone that. Put too much in. So when you're doing this, you want to pull them out, hold that black thing, and push more in. Ideally. So there's definitely some heat creep going on, huh? That sucks. I will solve that, though. I did not pay this much for a printer to have to worry about heat creep. All right. That's okay. I want it a little bit tighter, though. What can I do? So I'm going to back it out a little bit. Try to force this tight. Okay. For good measure, I'll put on this blue thing, but really with as tight as I have it, it shouldn't matter. Shoot. All right, so I have the blue thing on. Everything's real snug. Cool. You know, after I did that, I'm like, maybe they wanted me to measure exactly how far to do this before I started to commit. Just need to space fan off of the mosquito about 10 millimeters. Okay. Cooling shroud. Did this thing come with a cooling shroud? Probably not. So they have it blowing that way. So basically the fan is sitting against the BL Touch and the BL Touch is blocking the flow is what you're saying? See, that's very nice. That's going to be hard to judge that. Maybe I wasted time there. Okay. I have a little metal thing. Oh, those are cool. Spring things, clipping things. Where did he go? I have a metal thing somewhere. Should I put the nozzle on? I do have some grease. I should put some grease on it. I think the grease came in a Alien 3D box too. All right, so I have this little clamp. That's going to hold this against the, let me get the label right side up. That's going to hold this in place, I guess. And I guess it's going to go this way. Just so the fan can mount this way and blow through. Or maybe it's this way. Should I face my heater and thermistor cartridges to the right or to the left? Probably to the right. I'm going to take a guess there. Hi, Kit. Mosquito blocks the flow. Mosquito blocks it. This is Mosquito's own design, though, right? What are these nylon spacers for? Maybe they go for there? I don't know. I wouldn't think that Mosquito's own design is blocking their own flow. That doesn't make sense. Oh, that's crazy. All right, so I'm going to put a fan on it. Where are my arrows? They normally blow toward the label, right? So I'll put this on and we'll look at what kind of blockage we're going to see here. I am using too small. Where is my 1.5? Let's see. Maybe that's right, maybe that's not. Okay, so I guess what you're saying is the fins, the center of that fan is so large that the fan blades themselves aren't even blowing past those fins. It's pretty tough to see. Let me get a light here. So let's look. I am apologizing. Let me try to find how to do this. So only the corners kind of get the light through. Let's go in this way too. So all that center is not moving air. It's the fins, and the fins are, the fan blades are beyond the edge of this mosquito body. Okay. Well, so you can say that it's the RailCore design, but I think this is the mosquito fan, and this is the mosquito hot end. There is a significant amount of the fan blades that are blocked by the frame of the mosquito. So, I mean, RailCore probably has a part to do with it, but I don't get that part. I don't get why the majority of this area of the blade is being blocked by the body. I'm not the engineer though, so maybe I'm wrong. Maybe air will just work its way through. Okay, where were we? M330 button head bolts. A 30 seems quite large for what I'm about to do here. Shouldn't need a 30, but I will follow direction. So these are the 30s. Yeah, that just seems large. I'm going to pre-thread one and see how far it gets. It gets nowhere near far enough. It is not the 30s, guys. I'm thinking closer to maybe a 10. So let me find the 10s. So I have a whole bag of 10s here. All right, so I do have some waste of space there. So that might not be enough, but we'll see. I might have to go to like a 12 or a 16, who knows. But 30 is just way too much. Ah, 10 seems pretty perfect, guys. Yep. 10 it is. Okay. Yeah, Nocturus do suck. Yeah, Chris, I'll probably do the adapter. I'll find it out. It still should be something part of the design, or they should include the shroud. I don't know. I'm kind of disappointed. Unless that fan's a real screamer. Okay. I still don't know how I'm going to figure out this length. They're not exactly giving me directions for doing a Bondtech to Mosquito. I need more M310s. So the M310s are going to hold on the blower, actually the blower shroud. And let's take these guys. There is a little bag for these. Trying to keep all my loose tools put away with, or loose bits put away. Cool. And this looks like the tensioner for the Bondtech, which I'm having a hard time opening. What is this thing? Oh, duh. Okay, so this is the gear that goes on the motor shaft. I'm like, what is this thing? So that gear goes on the motor shaft and basically slips into there and drives the gear that's driving the Bondtech. And that's where all the magic happens. Kit, no, it looks like there's supposed to be a gap between the extruder and the hot end, which has been a little bit of a problem, according to Chris, because the little bit of gap, even though it has the tube, it will flex. And then guess what? You're screwed. I need those. I need that. I don't need these. Okay. Yeah. I do have boron nitrate. Let me go get it. All right, so I think this came maybe I bought it. It might have come in an alien UFO box, or I might have bought it. I don't remember. Okay, so I will unscrew the nozzle. I'm not even really screwing it in tight anyway right now because it's the other thing I want to do is get a paper towel before I start messing with this crap. Yeah. So I'm going to get a little bit out. This stuff will last forever. That's why I get paper towels when I work with goopy stuff, because I get it everywhere. Sure, other people do the same. Okay. I am pasted up. You could turn that just for a little. Hey, Mr. Bootram. I do have an extruder motor somewhere too. All right, so right now, let me move the fly cam in here. Coming straight up at you. Where is it? Yeah, I gotta back you up some. There we go. Okay. They want this thing mounted under here with the M310s. And it doesn't seem to quite be level. And that little hole there is all that's cooling the print. That looks like a concern to me too. What the heck? So it said to use M310. Oh. M310 button head bolts, but they do not seem to want to go through. So this is either a case of too much junk in the way, which I have a drill for. Oh, that's backwards, guys. Okay, maybe that's just it. Maybe it was just junked. Yes, I am in. Where am I going here? Okay, I do not like this. All right. So with this fan here, let me make sure you're on camera here. Okay. With this fan in place here, it's putting downward pressure here and causing this to slope downward a little bit. And it's because the fan, I can actually kind of get it out. The fan has this snap joint right here at the top. And that snap joint is rubbing right up here. The duct was the first thing replaced. You want it on two sides of the nozzle, depending on the part geometry. Yes. The ducting does look inadequate. I agree, man. I'm going to fix that when I get a chance. Besides that, this whole thing seems wonky. So, again, it seems that this is putting a pressure here. All right. I still don't have my bond tech quite figured out here, namely the length of material from the bond tech to let's see. Yeah, they barely cover information on mounting the extruder itself. I don't even see, let's see. Oh, I see what they're saying. So what they're doing to say to fit this is to start at like 50 millimeters and go ahead and start testing, trim, test, trim, test, trim until you get a tight fit. Yeah, this Bowden tubing must be precise. Yeah. So that is a weird way of doing it. You would think they have some numbers. They have numbers if you have the Titan, but I don't think their kit comes with a Titan. So I wish I had calipers with me. Let me measure this with a ruler. So this thing extends, what is that, 21 millimeters into the Bondtech itself. So I just have to remember 21 into the Bondtech. I'll see where my distance is, and maybe I can do some sort of math. Let's see how far it gets into the mosquito. That wasn't far at all. Oh, here we go. Got some more in there. So darn you, PTFE. How far is that? Feels like about 15, 16 centimeters into the hot end. And then we just need the gap between them. So the Bondtech looks like it mounts pretty much there. That is quite a gap. That absolutely is a gap there. Yeah. I'm just going to have to play with it, I guess. Okay, that's snug. Oh no, he cut it. Yeah, this is their latest instructions. I'm following the instructions they posted to the Extruder site, which they claim are the very, very latest. Uh-oh, that's not a good sign. I have cut it too short, even with that. So I'm going to use this as a measuring tool and make a longer one. Might have to order more tube to keep this up. I am not liking this. All right. Okay, that's good. I'm hoping it's too long now. What? It might be. Actually, that might be it. All right, so that is quite a bit of tube that just sits there floating. I don't know if that's focusing at all for y'all. But that seems to be a source of some problems, just having that much tube between the two. But I am on there tight. This is lining up. I should measure this. I'll take it out to measure it. All right, my number is my number is 61 millimeters. And for some fun, I'm going to make a 62 and see if I like the fit better. So that is there. Trying to be as precise as possible here, guys. Oh, that sucks. Okay, that needs to be the next 3D printing project. Make one of these cutters that will let you have a metal ruler in it. Where am I at? So this is where I'm at right now. Looks like 62 exact. Or is it 63? No, it looks like 62. So I'm going with that. Let's see how that one fits. Okay. Bondtech. Pull down that little black thing here. All right. Yeah, 62. I think I like 62 better. It doesn't feel like there's any wiggle on either side. I'm using the blue retaining clips on both sides. If I can get it on there. Cool. I am hoping I work out the jam problem, man. That's my goal there. Do they tell us which direction the motor wire should face? I'm going to assume toward the rear. So this guy is going on the shaft. 1, 2. Just kind of trying to check alignment here. All right. So it feels that the Bondtech gear goes all the way against the very end of the shaft. Or let me show you. It goes all the way back to the end of the D cutout. So that seems to be the ideal position for it. Any more forward and it seems to put unnecessary pressure between the Bondtech and the motor. I'm facing my wires to the right. It might be the wrong idea. We'll see. Let me get you a different view, maybe. Let's see. Will you stay? And down. All right. Where's that going? Come on. I'm just using the 3 screws that came with the Bondtech. Oh. Yep, it feels engaged. Pretty rock solid. That's the wrong size. These are tight. Double check your screws. Okay. It gets weak and slips out. So it just starts to flex more and more the more you take it apart, huh? Yours is 58? How is mine 62 and yours is 58.5? Shouldn't our machines be identical? Weird. Yeah, 58 would not work at all for me. That would leave quite a gap. Okay. Where are my instructions? We did all this. This is cool. X and sub and rail adjustment. Time to align your X rails. Take off any masking tape you still have holding things in place. So I do have some tape around here. It's not masking tape, it's electrical tape. And that one's not really doing anything. All right, tape removed. Carefully move your Y rail towards the left side of the printer, keeping the Y carriage centered on it. Make sure they don't fall off. Yep. Interesting. If they're close to falling off. Okay. So I have to move the camera again. So they want this thing all the way down here. And they're saying if you, well, actually I'm at the end stop. So I am not close to falling off there. So that's good. Okay. So there's the end stop. Good. All right. Okay. Loosen the two bolts on your X end stop and move it toward the right side of the printer until there is a 25 millimeter space between it and the inside face of your top left extrusion. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
I don't know, man. I think I'm good. The only thing that's different, though, where's my ruler? Oh, I see. I think I see. I wonder if that's on purpose. So the let's see. So let me show you what I'm looking at here. So right here, and maybe I did something terribly wrong, but you see how much this is overhanging this? And then if you come over here, I don't have that same overhang. And I wonder if I can just loosen up these bolts, but I don't know if there's going to be any wiggle room in here. Those are the wrong size. Let me find the right tool. Why would that be different? That does not slide at all. I didn't think it would slide, but What am I thinking about here, guys? Why does it seem like this one sits differently than this one here? Maybe that's some sort of goofy design. Rotate so the mosquito is out, the fan's facing out. I'll look at it. I think that whole thing has to be looked at. It just really seems weird. Just doesn't make sense. Oh, I see the difference, guys. Boom. All right. There is just less material on that side. So I don't know. They just made it they made the holder a little bit differently. And so it's just a little bit thinner over there and it makes it look off. Very weird. Okay. Anybody else building printers today? Yeah. Oh, you sourced a Voron, huh? Yeah, you know what? I completely worked through lunch. This is taking longer than I thought it would. Maybe I'll take a break, start another stream later after I eat a little lunch. And yeah, thank you for bringing that up, Kit. So maybe I'll take a break, double check a few things in here, make sure things are right, let you guys know what I find. But I'm glad that I have the extruder and the hot end on, I have the belts on, and that's all clipped. So let me switch my camera here. Not that one. We'll go to this one. So thank you very much for watching. I'm going to start another stream later once I have some lunch and take a little break and hopefully get this thing wrapped up. But I do appreciate everybody watching. Follow me on Twitter, graybeard_3D. Follow or check out my website, graybeard3d.com. And it's gray spelled with an E, not an A. I made that choice. So, Chris, I'll check out that pic you sent too. So yeah, I'll come back later after I have a little lunch and maybe double read some instructions here and see where I'm at. So thank you all for joining today. I really do appreciate the company, and I'll catch you all later. Bye.